Hello crafters! This is Raquel with Paints and Glitter, and I'm not sure that you can even see me, so bear with me as I try to find my video. If I look odd, it's because I have no idea where that camera is facing, and I'm about to find out. So we shall see if my internet will cooperate. Here we go. Okay, so now I see where this is facing. Hi! Hello, darling. This is not a good view, but let me adjust my camera here. Well, actually, let me say hello, because I haven't seen you guys, and you guys haven't seen me in a while. Maybe, I don't know if I can face the camera differently. I'm gonna give it a try. Bear with me. Can you see me there? Nope, you cannot. You're seeing the hot mess of my room. There we go. Maybe now? Not really. That's not helping much. Anyway, all right. I guess I should face the table then, because this isn't gonna work. My camera. It's always a challenge. But anyway, I'm here today to craft. So let me show you what's on my table. And I guess I should zoom in a bit. It's one of those days where I am just, as you already know, Beverly, I was just watching the ladies from Craft Stash coloring, and I decided, you know what, I've got a little bit of time here. Let me go ahead and do that myself. I think if I move this forward here, you'll be able to see me just fine. Perfect. Okay, I think I'm in focus. So today I'm going to play around with some stamping and coloring. What do you think? I'm going to try to make it quick and easy, or my version of that anyway. So here I have this stamp that I haven't yet played with, and it is from Daisy Mae Design. I think it's absolutely adorable. And I also have this nesting die set, which is called the Label Cross Stitch. This one here. And I decided to come along and share my process of coloring and playing along with that. I have some other ones, but I'm not quite sure if I'll use them. But thank you for joining me, and I hope other people join us. Well, we'll see. It's kind of an odd time of the day for me to be going live. But, as I said, I had a little bit of time. Oopsie. And I'm here and available, so why not? I'm going to use my Tim Holtz platform. And I have a piece of tape there, which is actually called frog tape. That's what I use if I paint on a wall. However, I've happened to misplace one of my magnets, so that works just as good for me. And I think if I go in this direction, you'll see it better. So I'm just going to use, this is 110-pound cardstock. And what I'm going to do, here we go, I'm trying to make room for myself here, is use, let's see here, some really nice crisp ink that's alcohol marker friendly, because I'm going to go that route today. And this one's from, I think I showed this, yes, I showed this before. This one's called Be Creative Intense Black Ink from Mae Stamps. So that's what I'm going to use as my base color here. I was thinking of watercoloring, but because I don't want to get out the heat gun, I decided to just, well, I mean, I don't want to have to do layers and layers. I decided to just go with this. Are you crafting today, Beverly? I know sometimes you do videos in the evening, which sadly I can't tune in for, not regularly, but, my son's got basketball, so I am at his mercy of whatever his schedule is, you know? Okay, so I'm going to try this one more time here, just in the center. I didn't prep this stamp. And if anyone rewatches this, that just means I did not take the film that usually comes on the stamps off before I started stamping it, but it looks to be stamping just fine. Daisy Mae has some very kind of whimsical drawing styles, and that's something that appeals to me, of course, but that also means that not all of the lines are, they don't always look absolutely, you know, perfect types of graphic lines, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to really quickly wipe this down because I try to be proactive about wiping down the stamps as soon as I use them, if I remember, of course, so that I don't ruin my own stamping. I'm notorious for accidentally touching it and all that stuff, and then transposing the ink to the wrong surface. I know everybody does that, but I'm just going to use this chamois, get rid of that black ink, and then that way I have a bit more peace of mind. Okay. And this stamp set came with a little butterfly, so I may as well go ahead and stamp that. And it is so super cute. It just has this really adorable little stitched line on it. And I really like that little detail because of the fact that the dies in her collection also have stitching lines. So it just goes without saying that those look really sweet together. Okay, so there's the little butterfly. And there's also a little tag. I suppose I may as well stamp them all out. But I'm not going to use a sentiment from this collection. This came with two sentiments. One of them states, sending you sunshine. The other one says, it's your time to bloom. But I'm actually going to use a different sentiment today. And God willing, I'll get to that. I'm having trouble getting this off. But these, by the way, if you've never purchased Daisy Mae stamps, they are really nice quality. So they're not that really wimpy material. They're a nice thick photopolymer. And let's see here. One more little guy here. I guess I should have thought of that first, but that's how I always work. One thing at a time here. Okay. Uh-oh. I think I put too much ink on that one. Let's see how that looks. Woo! Yep. That was a little bit too squishy. However, I'm going to leave it like that. So word to the wise, when you're doing this kind of stamping, you don't need to press the pad too hard as I just did, because then you get an excess of ink, and that's not necessary. All right, so now black stamping is done. Let me make sure that I get all that. Ugh, there we go. And I'm just going to put these guys back home, and then I can get to using colors. Now, I like to use as a guide the paper that I'll use as the base of my card to determine kind of the tonality of colors that I'll use on a stamp. It's usually where I start. And I do have a paper pad to my side that I'm going to grab in 1 second here. I have no depth perception, so see-through materials are not my friend. Here we go. All right. And I've been playing around with this because I really like the colors in here. Oh, hi. Hello. Yes, we just saw each other over on the Craft Stash link. Or page, I should say. So thank you for joining us. Please remind me again of your name so that I can refer to you by name. And I'm Diana. So thank you, Diana, for joining us. I really like these soft colors. So as a matter of fact, I'm thinking that I might start coloring the image with the flowers and maybe even stamp the watering can again. So let me just take this lid off. This, by the way, the Tim Holtz platform, I find to be super user-friendly. I know that it's no longer on the market here in the US, but if this ever comes into the market, grab it. If you ever find it used. As a matter of fact, now that I'm on that topic really quick, I just wanted to say that Facebook Marketplace is sometimes a place where you can find used craft materials. And if you ever find one of these, I highly recommend that you grab it, because on one side you can place the photopolymer stamps that are the clear ones, like the one I just stamped out. And on the other side you can place the rubber ones, and it's even labeled clear and rubber. And then of course this is magnetic, so my little magnet there, if I, didn't always lose them, it'd be easier to use, right? But it has the ability to hold your paper there, and I think that's really cool. So let me try to zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can see. And I think I need to go in this direction. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to grab some markers, and I believe this to be dry. No rhyme or reason here. I'm just going to swatch this out. I like to kind of touch the paper, and it seems like it's okay. The thicker the paper, the better, because it's going to absorb the color a little bit more. But I'm just going to try to go with some happy colors here. And this is RV13. Not that it really matters in the long run, because you can use whatever colors you like when you're making these types of things. But this does have a little stitching line, so it serves almost as a guide also, if you want to use it in that manner. Then this is RV21. And guys, I just grabbed the colors that I think are going to look right. There's nothing scientific about this whatsoever. You do what feels right when it comes to coloring. But this is one of those days, you wake up and you hear the news and you start praying automatically. And so hello, Susie. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. So it's a good day to meditate on our blessings, and at least that's my opinion. Okay, RV10 was the third one there. And I'm going to repeat that because there are 3 flowers here that are of that same exact style. The top one here, or the one that's more prominent in the front, I'm not going to color in the same tonalities, only because that would be too much of the same thing. But the one back here I will. So again, repeating RV13. What I'm doing here is I'm using the darkest color closest to the black line of this flower here, where the little button is, because that is going to give it depth. Even though these are meant to emulate fabric flowers, if you will, because of the stitching. But I still think it looks really cute that way. And I'm going to try to lower my voice because I realize I'm not in a classroom. Oh yes, thumbs up would be highly appreciated. Absolutely. If you enjoy coloring and being among happy, kind people, this is the place for you, and I welcome you if you're new here. I believe only Diana is, but hopefully more people can join us. So I'm done there with that pink. I do like that, so I'm going to repeat it here, oops, on the butterfly, only on the outermost portion there of where it looks like it's stitched. But I'm going to repeat that process of going dark to light. Okay, this is that ombre effect, if you will. It makes coloring just fun. And I I'm sorry if I moved the platform here. Want to make sure I'm in frame. Now, even though I stamped this on nice heavy cardstock, because this is an alcohol-based marker and these are Copics, I want to be a little bit careful not to be too comfortable coloring over the black lines because I didn't heat set it. If I had heat set this, I'd be a little more comfortable with that. I'm now going to switch over. Here's what I typically do. If I use a trio of colors, I set it aside. And then I grab another trio and so on and so forth. Just to not repeat myself. And that's if I can. If I can't, then I don't worry too much. Now I have a different trio here. These are B32, BV01, and V12. And again, just to switch it up. So I'm going to use this blue, which is quite vibrant, at least on the nib. In real person, I suppose it's not, but I'm going to use that there. And I think I'm going to go back here. There's another flower. Yep. Trying to identify the shapes, guys, because it's my first time using the stamp. So there's that. I'm going to follow it with BV01. And these are blue violet. If you're not familiar with Copics, that's all that means. BV means blue violet. RV is red violet, and so on and so forth. And I'm coloring right on top of that other blue, but extending it out. Okay. And last but not least, B32. No, wait. That was my first one. V12, pale lilac is the third one that I'm going to add to that. And I'm just going to go around the outside border here. And I'm not going to go over everything else because I really like that blend. So I'm just going to use it right on that border. And I'm going to go back with the blue and just blend a tiny bit between these two flowers, so to speak, just to give it a bit of a shadow. Okay. And in a little bit, I'll give you guys a close-up so you can see what I'm referring to. Now, with that same blue, I am going to, let's see here. I don't know why I do this to myself, guys. I have a rolling cart. Do you think I remember to roll it? I keep reaching over, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? BG10 is what I'm going to grab, and I'm going to use that with my B32. Let me know if any one of you gets bingo. I am coloring the edge of that stitch line with the B32 and the little swirly in the middle, and then back here. And then I'm going to blend it out with BG10. BG10 is a very, very light blue. Almost like a sky, not a sky blue, but a very cloudy kind of blue, if you will. Okay, so I really like to blend with that. Now, I'm needing to decide the color of this big flower in the front. I think that I'm going to go with, let's see here. I'm looking for my colors here. Almost like a peachy tone, I think, is what I'm going to use here. So let's go with maybe a darker, let me see here. Let's see how this works. I think this yellow is quite bright, but they always, no, here's the yellow I'm looking for. All right, here we go. Decision made. I'm going to go with RV10, YR61, and Y21. So in this case, the darkest shade is going to be this YR61. And this is almost like a peachy tone. So I'm going to use that one as my shadow. I hope you guys are all doing well today. Oh, hi, Elizabeth. How are you, darling? Thank you for being here. Okay, so I extended that, even though I know that flower's not really behind there, but who cares? RV10 is my next one, and I'm going to go right over what I just colored, and then I'm going to extend that out. And I think I need to refill this marker because I use it quite a bit. Okay. Now the reason I did that peachy tone in here instead of just sticking to the very bare minimum is because there's a shadow there. So I essentially just use that YR marker, the peachy one that I mentioned, as my shadow. And you do that if you want to, you don't have to. And then I'm just going to go around the outside line here with the yellow. And this is right on the perimeter there of that stitching line, just to add interest. Okay. And what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to, let's see here, this is yellow. Yep. Have to remind myself of the colors. Awesome. Yeah, it's wonderful to craft and then listen to other crafters at the same time, right? I think I should zoom in more. Let me try. So that way you guys can see the colors that I'm using here. Hopefully you guys can see that a little bit better. And maybe I need to go down a little, like that. Hopefully this gives you a better perspective. Okay, so here I'm using G12, which is called Sea Green. And I'm just going to go on the edge of that little button. Okay, and then on the little, the edges of what would be the thread holding it down. And then I'm going to follow through with Y21, which is that really light yellow. Okay. I feel like Bob Ross. Oh, no worries, Susie. I think it's brave of you to be listening while at work. Now I'm kind of unhappy with the blending over here, so I'm going to go back to that flower, and I know which trio I use, so I'm going to go over that a little bit more with this R20, just because I kind of want to blend that out a bit more. I don't think I did too good of a job with it. And of course, that's probably something only I would notice, but there it is. Okay, I think I'm happier with that. Now over here, I'm going to grab the YR61, Y21, and Y02, because I'm going to try for a better yellow this time. So I'm going to grab that YR61 again, and just go around the perimeter here of these stitching lines, very lightly. Then Y21 is going to be my second color. And I'm going right over that initial one, extending it out a tiny bit. And then I'm going to finish that one off with the Y02, which is the canary yellow. That's going to give me a little bit of a more vibrant yellow there, even though it's got a bit of shadow in the center. Okay. Now for the center of that little flower, I'm going to go in with B32 and BG10. I'm not trying to complicate things here, just going little by little with the colors that I think are going to contrast. If you were to see a color wheel, you would know why I put blue next to yellow. Okay, so there's that. And now I have two more flowers and the rest looks to be greenery. The two other flowers here, I think I can do, trying to see if I can incorporate a tiny bit of orange here without going too dark. Let's give this combination a try. This is Y35. I would love to see these actually made of fabric. It would be so adorable. I'm sure it wouldn't be that difficult to make, but okay, now I'm going to use that YR61. Just tiny little flecks is what I'm doing here. Not a whole lot. And then I'm going to finish that off with Y02. And I'm going over what I already colored and just kind of pulling that color out a little bit. So you spend a little bit more time on the paper with the color that you want to use as your blending color. If you're using alcohol markers, it helps out quite a bit. Now, having said that, I did not heat set this black ink, so I am actually trying to color as fast as I can, because I'm not confident that the black ink will not transfer over. And I can always go back and add a little bit more of this or that. As a matter of fact, for that one, I think I want to go back in and, well, no, let's do the centers first. I'm going to go in with RV13 for the perimeter of the button. Just like that. And then RV21 for the rest of it. It's going to be a nice bright pink button there. Then the other buttons for these pink flowers, I want in a light color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix G12, is going to be the base here. And I'm just going to use it as if this were my shadow. Just a very little bit of it. So not the entire button. And then I'm going to follow that with BG10. Now this color palette, as I said before, this is inspired by the paper pad that I showed at the beginning of the video. So I will be showing that again. Okay. So some of the vibrant yellows there, but I think yellow is a forgiving color. If you go bright, it still doesn't, it's not painful on the eyes, I guess. I don't know how else to describe that. But I have some pastels over here also. And I think that I want to use, this color here is called Raw Silk. I'm going to use that one with my G12, which is sea green. My Raw Silk, which is a very, very light tan, I'm going to use as my shadow, and that's E53. And I'm going in on the leaves here, just creating a bit of shadow with that. And guys, this is just quick and easy, you know, not too much thought process behind it, but just quick and easy coloring. Do you guys ever use alcohol markers or any markers at all? Following that through with the G12, which is the sea green. And if it overlaps a tiny bit, I will forgive myself for that. I'm just overlapping it with that first color that I laid down and then finishing off the leaf. Super simple. I'm loving this bouquet. I think it's so adorable. And I really love the size of the flowers on here. It makes quite a statement, I think. In lieu of real flowers, to send a bouquet of flowers that's colored, I think is okay. because these don't wilt. So I think it's a value. And guys, I am left-handed, so I'm trying to do this so that you can still see what I'm coloring, but I do apologize if I cover any part of the image. Now, it's okay to go back also over the same image and just drop in a little bit more color here and there where you think the shadow might hit with the same marker, because you can layer color upon color with alcohol markers and it looks really cool. I'm gonna go in here. There's a little crevice here where I think there may be a leaf behind it, so I'm just gonna follow that through with green, and I'm gonna do the same thing behind this flower just to give it a little contrast there and not leave an empty space. Okay, so I'm going to finish off my little butterfly. What I'm going to do is give it, let's see here, a base of Y35. This is called Mae's. At the base here of the little wings, where I had not colored before, and then I'm going to follow that through with Y21, which is Buttercup Yellow. Okay, so there's that. And for the body, I will go in with BG10 just to keep it real soft. Okay. And the little tag, I'm also going to keep really simple here. So for this one, I'm just going to use N2. Let me move this up a little bit so you guys can see it. Now, this is just a neutral gray and number 2 in a family of grays for Copics. So not a big deal either, just to give it a little bit of shadow here and there. And it does have a little heart. So what I will do with that is give the heart a little shadow, and that's just going to be in BG10. So I'm going outside of that little heart. And the heart itself, I'm going to color in with RV10, which is a very light pink, like that. Okay. Now, this is the palette, just in case you need a visual, this is the palette that I've used for today's coloring. If you need to take a screenshot, if anyone's rewatching the video later, this is what I've used. And let me go in this direction so you can actually see it. Hello, Sandra. How are you, doll? Thank you for being here. Okay, so those are the colors that I've used. Now, for the watering can, I actually think that I'm going to start off with the N4, which is a neutral gray, then also N2, and I may, let me see here, I may even do a little bit of C7. So I'm going to start with my mid-tone, if you will. And I'm going to switch this around this way because I'm left-handed. And I'm just going to, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm going to do some flicking motions here because I want the outside of the watering can, the edges, and the bottom to be the darkest part, so that, say the light were hitting this, it would reflect from the middle. So that's what I'm going to try to, you know, emulate in my coloring. The middle, I want to be the lightest part. So I'm just going to go from the outside. And it might look a little crazy in the beginning, but this is how this can be done. Just one of many ways. And I'm going to go under here. I'm going to try to be, you know, be careful when I'm coloring there, right? And I'm going back again a second time, but this time I'm flicking a little bit shorter stroke like so. Okay, and I'm going to flip my paper and I'm going to do the same thing from the other direction. So you do it however you're comfortable. Going here. And if this is useful to you, if you have learned any coloring techniques in any one of my videos, whether it be this one or prior, I do appreciate a thumbs up. Or even if you let your friends know when you make a video of your own, you know, it would be very, very just loving and kind. If there's anything you take away from my videos, I appreciate the mention. So if you see here, I'm doing tiny little strokes here behind the leaf, okay? And before I move on to the other parts of this watering can, I'm going to follow through with my second color here. Now this is a darker one. This is C7, and it is a cool gray. But I'm going to kind of do almost like a stippling motion here. And I'm only going to do the outer portion of this, not the entire thing. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm just stippling. That means little dots. Now, do they become perfect dots? Absolutely not. It depends on how you hold your marker, but it doesn't truly matter. You're just creating a bit of a shadow there. Okay, and then I'm going to go back with my lightest N2, and now I'm going to create longer deposits of color here by flicking that out a bit more. And I'm overlapping what I already colored. Now this is not Copic paper, if you will, but I don't think it matters. It'll still give a bit of texture to the paper. Now I did have the shadow from this leaf here, but the rest I'm going to try to keep quite light if I can. You can go over any little areas that you want to. I'm going to concentrate here on the bottom a little bit more. And for the middle there, I'm going to go back with, if I can find my BG60. Okay, I'm gonna hope that there's color here. I think there is. I'm just doing a light wash over everything with my BG60. This is almost like a very light violet, barely there color. Okay. With my mid-tone, which was the N4, I'm going to go back and add a little bit more stippling here and there where I deem it necessary. And this is just a preference. I like old rusty watering cans, so that's kind of the look that I'm going for here. And you do whatever you like. I just like texture, and I think that this is such a great opportunity for it. Okay, so I'm going to review my work for a second here. And I think I want to continue this throughout, with the exception of the very middle there maybe. I'm just going to do some really light spots here and there, just like so. Okay, so that is the center of my watering can. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat the process. If you see that, I'm going to repeat that on these other two parts. So let's start again, actually with that same color, the N4. I'm going to make that my mid-tone here. So I'm going to use it like so. Just doing that flicking motion and a little bit of a barrier here on the sides, because I did say I wanted the center to be lighter. And for the sake of going a little bit faster, I'm going to go ahead and do this portion here. Then I'm going to go back with my C7, doing shorter flicking motions, but closer to the line. I'm actually going to go with a darker color in the center. On that end. And then I'm going to follow that through with C. Where am I? N2. Sorry, this is the lightest one, N2. Forgot my numbers there for a minute. And B60 as the late or the last color there. That's what I meant to say. Only where I have the lighter areas. And I'm going to repeat the same on the other side. Do the mid-tone first. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I was trying to do the math the other day, and I was telling my husband, because I had a birthday this month. I was like, oh my gosh, honey, I can officially say I've been coloring for over 30 years. Or no, 40. I've been coloring for 40 years. That is amazing. I was trying to find a silver lining, ladies. But hey, there's some value to experience, right? Okay, so there's that. As you can see, you know, sometimes you can apply a little more pressure if you need to blend it out. And then I'm just going to go over here on the lighter areas again with this blue color. That's it. So now, oh, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Now, remember the stippling I did in the middle? Do you see how much light? I don't know if you guys can tell, but it did get lighter as it dried. So that's something I didn't mention with alcohol markers. It saturates the paper, and initially it's kind of scary because it'll be dark. But then you go back overnight, so 24 hours from now, and this will be lighter. So don't be afraid to add your colors, okay? Don't ever be scared to color. It's just, it's fun, you know? And if you want a zebra, you know, themed watering can, because that's your thing, then color it like that, you know? There's no rules. You do whatever you want. Because how cool would that be to just make a bunch of different watering cans and then have them all be, you know, depending on the personality of the person you're giving it to, use papers that are a little brighter or striped or whatever you want, polka dot. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so again, I'm just doing my little stippling motion there, okay? And you always can go back, add a little more here and there, whatever. The idea is to give it texture visually so that it doesn't look like a flat piece of paper. Because, Sandra, I started when, yeah, I started when I was about, I don't know, elementary school age, 6 or 7 years old. So yeah, I can say I have at least 40 years of experience in coloring. I've been coloring since I can remember, since I was little. So, but yeah, there's that. And I'm going to apply the same principle to the little butterfly here. Going back with this RV13. And I'm just going to do a little bit of stippling here and there. And this is just personal preference. It's not really going to change much of anything there, but it's just something that I enjoy. Now what I want to do is to fussy cut this. So grab a cuppa, ladies. I'm hoping not to take too long. But the reason being that I do want to make use of, I'm sorry, my hair gets all over the place. Make use of the dies, and I want to place this on top. So I'm going to try to, let me see, use the biggest scissors that I can to do so. And I think I can go with these guys. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the perimeter. Now this, again, this is 110-pound cardstock. So this is no wimpy paper. Try to use the good stuff. And I'm going to start here. I'm going to go to my, this is what I call my Timmy scissors. And I'm just going to have at it. Now, if you were not to fussy cut this, if you were going to leave it on the background, then I highly suggest that you go around the perimeter of the image with a different color. For instance, the one that I use, the E35, which is the base color that I use to create the shadows for the leaves. It's kind of like a really light tan, and you can just go around the entire edge with something like that, and it would help it pop from the background and make it a really pretty shadow to that. Okay. But if you're interested in any of these, I do believe they're still available. They are from Craft Stash US. They ship worldwide. If you spend, I think it's $80 US, you get free shipping. And let me tell you guys, I get my orders super fast from them. I don't know if it's because the warehouse maybe is located in a, you know, perhaps in a location that's convenient to me, but they're pretty awesome. And they have sales. There's a banner on the website that's bright yellow. You can't miss it. If you click on that banner, then you get to see which codes you want to be using that week for whatever brand. And they do have several different US brands as well as the brands from our UK friends. And that's just my shameless plug, because it is the way that you can support my channel if you like the content, is to just use the links provided, and nothing would cost you any more. You'd still end up paying the same amount. And if there's a particular item that you have questions about, and you're like, oh, Raquel, I'm not sure, you know, is there any possibility that I could get this at a better price elsewhere? If you shoot me an email, I am happy to respond and tell you, oh, wait, no, that, you know, hold off on that one and buy it here, and I'll give you a different link. I have done that in the past, and I don't have any trouble doing that. If I get a deal at a different place, for instance, like I not too long ago was recommending the Nuvo adhesive to someone, and before I give a link, believe you me, I shop around and I look at the stores that I'm affiliated with, and I try to give you the best current price. Because Lord knows, we all like to save a little here and there, right? So I'm going to go in now with this nifty item, which is my craft knife. You need coffee. Sandra, I would serve you some if you were here. I'd be like, hold, wait a minute, Sandra needs coffee. I know, we go through coffee like it's water in this household. It's incredible. And both of my sons drink coffee, but my youngest is still living at home. And he makes coffee, get this, right? Because this is, you know, the youth of today. This is when I know I'm old. He makes coffee for himself and for his girlfriend. I'm like, why? Okay, how could I not, you know, why is it I never met a boyfriend like that when I was in high school? No one ever brought me coffee in the morning. That would have been amazing. But all joking aside, I mean, I think it's so funny that we all like it. We're all taking turns in the morning. Like, you know, which sweetener do you like? Which syrup do you add? First world problems, right? Oh gosh. All right. So there's that. Sorry to be nitpicky, but I am like that when it comes to my cutting. My OCD does kick in here and there. So let go of that one. And really, Beverly, wow. Well, you ladies know I like to share my stories. My mother said to me, this was, I don't know when she shared this with me, but she said to me that I started drinking coffee when I was 4 years old. And not on the regular, in case anybody wants to be like, you know, criticizing my mother. But somehow I was at a funeral and I was talking to some little girl who I have no idea who it was, but she was at the funeral too. And I was 4 years old, sipping a cup of black coffee, saying to her, "This is my first funeral and my first cup of coffee." Ay, ay, ay. So I thought I was grown. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, ladies. I'm just looking at the older comments, so I do appreciate you guys. You're so kind. Truly. Very, very grateful. I would show you one of the gifts that I got, but I couldn't manage to put it on today because I need another set of arms. Or hands, I should say, not arms. I need another set of hands. Rushing this morning. Okay, she's almost there. Trying to get around that bow, guys. Ay, ay, ay. There. Oh, okay. That was maybe not the best idea. And now the butterfly. God willing, she'll make a card. But I'm getting there. Yuck to black coffee. Yeah, Sandra. I guess that's a big thing at funerals. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I have no idea. No clue. No, I take mine with monk fruit sweetener. Now that I'm, you know, sugar doesn't agree with me. A little splash of syrup and heavy cream. Or I'll drink it black, or I'll drink it with, I don't care, anything. Just the one thing I don't like is the flavored creamers. That just, I think I had too much of that in my youth, and now I can smell it and it just turns my stomach. It's kind of weird how that happens. Okay. Voila! That's as complicated as that's gonna get. Now let's move on to, hello, Rocky! Thank you for being here. Let's zoom out because I'm done with the coloring. And hopefully you guys can see the desk better. I do have a lag, so I'm going to take a moment here to make sure that I'm in focus and all that good stuff. Yep, I have a severe lag on my phone. It's so bad. But there's the image. Let me do the little close-up that I like to do, right? All colored in. And the little tag, super cute. And then the little butterfly, which I should show like that. There's the little butterfly. And hopefully I was in frame. Oof, nope, that was awful. So hopefully there you get to see the coloring and all that. Okay, so now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to cut out this label cross-stitch nesting die set. What it's called. Hey, you can't blame a 4-year-old for not knowing that coffee creamer exists. I had no idea. I mean, I was hanging out at a funeral, so I shouldn't be joking about that, guys. So I apologize. I don't mean to offend anyone with my sense of humor, but that's just what I found out. Oh. And I was just referring to the fact that that's when I had my first cup of coffee. So I don't mean to be insensitive to anyone with my my laughter. By no means is it meant to offend. Okay, so let's go to cutting the base paper here, which what I would like to do is to cut this out 3 times, and you shall see why. So I'm just going to cut this down with my, what do you call this thing? Let's learn some Spanish. I'm going to use my cizalla. Cizalla. I lost my butterfly. I think it went fluttering away. Oh, yeah. No clue where that went. Wow. Okay. In any case, if I find it later, I'll add it later. So this seems to be about 5 1/4 inches wide. So that's perfect. I'm going to cut this out 3 times. Yeah, caffeine can do a number on you if you become dependent on it. It's incredible. I'm the same way. I get the headaches now if I don't have enough caffeine in my system. I'm just not a friendly person to be around. Oh, now I have to select which color. I think I wanted to go with a light, very, very light color. And again, this was the color palette that I was referring to earlier. Kind of like that, of course, because blue is always my default. Oh, there's the butterfly. Oh, thought I had lost it. There's this really, really wispy blue here that I like. I think I'm going to go with that. And of course I can introduce more color by layering on top of that, which I think I will. So I am going to see if I already have. Doesn't seem like it. Okay. You know what's really wonderful, Sandra, since you just mentioned that coffee bothers your stomach? Green tea. In fact, I try to drink green tea very often. Today I had some that was super delicious, and I wish I had the thing over here with me now, but it's blueberry green tea. My son got me that for Mother's Day, or my birthday or something. Cold and bitter. See, I have jokes like that too, Rocky, but I'm too afraid to say them out loud on YouTube. Cold and bitter. I won't say them because then I'll offend my husband, and I don't want to do that. But that is funny. Oh my gosh. I'm going to plead the 5th so as to not get myself in trouble again with my sense of humor, but oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to do this a trifecta here of cutting, and I would double this up. And guys, I feel like I'm talking crazy because you guys can't see my entire desk. So let me see if I can do something about that real quick. Let me see. And I'm reaching over, but I have no idea if you guys can see everything that I'm doing here or not. Thank you for the laughs, though. Okay, so off to the side. Yes, I I need to be calladita, calladita is what we say in Spanish. Calladita te ves más bonita. That means you look prettier when you're quiet. And that's just a, you know, figure of speech to say, no, 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 no. I'm better off staying quiet on that one. All right, so I almost forgot this one. So let me go ahead and use my scissors on that one. There. Try not to think about it too much. And I suppose, you know what? I'm not thinking straight. When there's one, I always regret having just one. So let's do two. Now I like, just to let you guys know, when I make a card, I try to make it as sturdy as possible. So I do like layering a lot. I realize not everybody likes that, but so Sandra says, I know now I will never offend Raquel. No, the only way to offend me is to take the Lord's name in vain in front of me, because I'm not cool with that. Because I am a Jesus lover. I'm a Christian girl. But most of my friends know that about me, so, you know, most people I know refrain. But other than that, no, I'm not, you know, I'm not here to be anybody's mama. I've got two kids of my own. The rest of y'all you're on your own when it comes to discipline. Do not delegate that to me. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I had, in fact, it's so funny. I had a coworker one time, and she did that quite frequently, and I'm talking like every 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, girlfriend, you and I are going to have to come to a truce on this, because I'm a believer. I'm a born-again Christian, and, you know, and I respect the fact that not everybody believes what I believe, but it just gets to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, that really was hurting my spirit to hear this over and over and over again. So I told her I'm going to make a jar. You know how we do the swear jars? And I said, now every time you say, you know, the Lord's name in vain, you're going to put $1 in there. No, guys, I was actually joking, half joking, I should say. But by the end of the day, she almost started crying because she felt so horrible about the fact that she had never noticed that was something she did. And that day, she owed me like $7 or $8 before lunch break. So she came over and apologized and said, I am so sorry. You know? And I told her, hey, listen, I just, you know, I'm grateful that you're even conscious of it at this point, you know. But she truly had not even noticed. It was just something habitual for her. I still remember the look on her face, the poor thing. Yes, it was very convicting, because I said, hey, how about you replace it with somebody else's God? Just use, I don't know, Buddha or Muhammad instead of Jesus, and I'll be fine. Because I still have a sense of humor. It's not, you know, Christians are not devoid of humor, I think. If you are, then I guess you don't know the Lord the way I do, but no, she was quite sorry about it. Which, you know, it showed me that she cared. She did care. It was just one of those things. All right, so I am layering. This is my base layer, and I'm going to be using this label in this direction. And there's, you know, as you guys know, there's more than one way to skin a cat, but this is the direction that I'm going in today because I think I'm going to like it. And if I don't, then I won't repeat it. I'll just do something different next time. And again, because this has the whole stitching motif, I think it's going to look really cute. With, of course, the same designer made it. And this is by Claire Rowland, by the way, if you guys don't know who she is. She makes some really sweet stamps and dies and whatnot. So, okay. I'm double checking to make sure I have this correctly. Here is, you know, the number of layers that I need. I like how Ray Comfort puts it with. Yes, I agree with that, Elizabeth. Yeah, if I wouldn't use my own mother's name as a cuss word, then I certainly don't want to do that to, you know, my Lord and Savior. So that is a very good way to put it. And you know what? I think that, you know, among friends, of course, when you say something because you're upset, at least the people that I know, I don't think they say it with the intention of offending me. You know, it's just it just goes to show that there is power in the tongue, as the book of James says. There is power in the tongue. Your words do have strength, which is the reason why you say an expletive when you're upset instead of saying something like, I don't know, yay, how happy. I think you guys are all, you know, you're all mature enough to understand where I'm coming from with that. Okay, so here's where I'm going with this. Okay, I think it's crooked, so I'm gonna, let me try to find my center here, guys, because this is the challenge with the shaped, the shape dies, or at least a challenge that I have. Okay, I'm trying to match the little notch with the notch. We'll see how far we get with that. I think I got it. Okay, and this is what I was trying to do, is to create a fold here. And then I'm going to fold it in the other direction, like so. Okay. It might not be perfect, but we'll see. The idea is to, okay, to add it here on top so that I can fold it in that direction. Let me see if this is even going to work. So I've got an idea in my head, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It might not. I think I needed to fold it in the other direction. Like that. And I think I'm getting confused because it's a shaped card, but I think I'll get it. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I think I got it. So that it goes like that. What am I doing wrong? I want to do an easel card, and I'm forgetting for some reason how to do an easel card, because then I want this one on top. Help me out, girls. I forgot how to do an easel card. I know it goes like that. Ugh. I think maybe this needed to be folded a little bit lower. No. Does it go like that? Do I need another panel? I'm forgetting how to do the easel card, and I had it in my head 5 minutes ago. I think I got distracted. I think maybe this way. No, I'm not doing it right. Okay, maybe I need to scratch that idea. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I kid you not, I have no idea what I'm doing wrong now. It's not working. I think I need to look at another easel card so I can look at the reference of it to see why I'm doing it wrong. Yeah. I can't do it this way, because if I do, I'm not going to be able to open the card. Unless I just folded it in the wrong place. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Let's try that again. Perhaps I needed to fold it directly in the middle. That's what happens when you get distracted. Woohoo! There goes my glue. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to fold it in half. And let's see if that helps at all. I need this here. Normally I do these without even batting an eye, so I don't know why this has become... That goes like that. And I think I need to glue this down here. Nope, that's not working. I'm doing something wrong. Bear with me, ladies. My brain will kick in at some point. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Hello, Tanya. Welcome to the channel where Raquel has no clue what she's doing at the moment, but she's winging it anyway. Because humility. It's good to be humble. All right, I'm going to try to match that there. And I do believe that I may have cracked the code. I just have too many folds in my paper now. So how about I cut it again? Da-da-da-da! Die to the rescue! The good news is we can try it again till I get it right. And I will. I will, because I don't give up. That's the good news. Okay, let's try this. And I'm going to cut this one. Fold it correctly this time around, God willing. All right. So anyway, this is going to go on the top. And of course, you can use whichever side you like. It doesn't really matter. Because the tonality of the colors is so nice and light that it's not going to make a huge difference. All right. Let's bring that back, and hopefully this time I'll get my folds correctly. Okay, so now I'm only going to fold in about 3/8 of an inch into this what do you call this? This shape. Just gonna go in 3/8 of an inch. I'm not promising that it's gonna be perfect. Ay, mamma mia. I know it's in here somewhere. I think sometimes I'm better off doing it by eye rather than fighting with this. There we go. Okay. Then I'm also going to score right in the middle. And of course, had I picked just a simple rectangle, I'd be done with the card by now. I think it threw me off to have the shape. Oh, it's not cooperating with me today. It really isn't. I'm just going to do it by eye because I can't get this to follow a line. And I don't know if it's because it's thick paper or not. Okay. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with me today? I had it all planned out, guys. There we go. Ugh. I will get it to work though. There we go. Now, just so you know, if you have anything that's unsightly on white paper, if you use a rubber eraser, generally speaking, you can get that spick and span all over again, which is why I don't, you know, default into panic mode with that. Who else do we have here today? Yeah, I think we got the same crew still here. Okay, so back to this. I'm matching the background, giving myself a little foundation there. That's where I went wrong earlier, was that I folded too much of the paper, when all I need is a little bit of a foundation here to create that easel. So I'm sorry that my brain just went kaput there for a minute, but I think I got it back now. I'm going to blame it on lack of coffee and old age. I really have no excuse. Okay, so I'm going to press. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Now, normally you would want to be, you know, really nice and careful about this whole bit. I'm going to use score tape and glue just to get me, you know, a nice quick stick there, but you know, liquid glue should be just fine for this sort of card. There's a light at the end of this tunnel. Let's start singing now. Oh, here we go. So this is going to have the foundation here of the, or the mechanism, I should say, the fold. Okay. Before I move on to that, let me go ahead and do this. Just going to stick this down. Okay. Now this is really good glue, so you can do the little dot dot method or whatever, but you don't need a ton of it, which is wonderful, especially when you're running out. Ooh, I think this goes like this. Let's try that. Yep. Okay, there's that. Okay, I'm just gonna press that down. Okay, now I think that's nice and adhered. Before you guys leave, I'm going to show you a sneaky peeky of what I'm going to make next. I'm super duper excited because there was something that I had on my wish list. It's kind of interesting for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, I see it created. I'm like, wow, wow, wow. Super happy that designers seem to have this sort of, I don't know what it is, but I end up thinking of common things. Guys, I think I deserve a prize. I finally managed to make an easel card. Should have been way easier than how I complicated things, but what else is new? All right, so I'm going to now place this piece here because this is where I'm going to layer the sentiment. And my idea was to place the watering can on this end over here. That's why I wanted to use this shape, because I thought it would look so pretty like so. Thank you, Rocky. Oh, what a brain fart, though. It's so embarrassing. Like, I think I know what I'm doing. No, I don't. My son's home. Diego, I'm down here. My beautiful, handsome son. All right, so I'm going to place this right here. I'm not going to overlap it to make it longer, but you could if you wanted to. I just love the colors in this. And then the little watering can over here. And of course, if you want to, you can add more dimension to this. I'm going to place this little guy right here, like so. And then I'm going to give it the little butterfly. Before I stick that down, I'm going to try to find a blue that matches that background. It's kind of like a little bit of a cheater method there because I didn't cut everything away. So I'm just going to go in with a BG10 and I'm going to just color around the perimeter of that so that I don't have to keep cutting that paper down. And it removes that stark white edge. Hey, sweetie. Do you mind bringing me water when you get a moment? Thank you. Sí, por favor. Okay, so now this is going to go over here in this corner. Little butterfly. And then the little tag can kind of go over here as a dimensional item also. So let me give that some shadow. Yeah, every now and then, Elizabeth, every now and then. Every now and then the brain works, and then the rest of the time I'm just, no. Goes into connection mode. There we go. Okay. I'm going to color the string on here with, let's see, this violet color. Why not? Just here and there, just to give it a little bit of shade. And then follow that up with a pink. Okay. So that's going to go right here. I'm just going to layer it right on top. And for that, I'm going to use one of these sticky dots I recently received from scrapbook.com. And guys, I'm really happy with these. They're quite strong. I wasn't sure. I had never used them before, but it's almost like using hot glue. So, super awesome, because then I don't have to turn on the hot glue gun if I don't need to. Or, you know what I mean? If I don't want to, I should say, if I have those. So I thought that was super cool. So I'm just going to put that kind of askew there so it stands out. And the sentiment I mentioned was this one here. This was actually, you know what, I should have, oh, let me see. I forgot. Okay, I'm going to lift this because I think I'm going to put the sentiment right under that. Whew, thank God. Okay. It says, thinking of you. And this was just a little freebie. It just so happened to be on my desk here. And I thought, you know what, that sentiment is perfect. And it also says hello and thanks. Super cute. So I'm going to use that. And just grab this scratch piece of paper here. I'm going to cut it out and then stamp it. And I think for this, let me cut it smaller. There we go. Use the baby. There we go. Oh, you did? Isn't it so cute? I really like the itty bitty flowers. I'm thinking of doing, you know, the smaller cards, like 3x3s or 4x4s. That's the perfect size for that. I'm just going to clean this off again. I really don't like the residue that my plates get here and there, but there's not much you can do about that, right? So what I can do, however, is clean it off before I stamp. And it just so happens that I have an ink here. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of which one is best. I'm thinking brown would look cute, so that way it's not super duper bright. And this is a hybrid ink by Nuvo in Acorn Brown. We'll see how this looks. I tend to prefer navy and that sort of thing, but I'm going to first see how it's going to fit here. So I had to lift my image a little bit. It might not work unless I can do it like so, perpendicular. I don't think that's going to hurt anything. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to do it like that. So I'm going to stamp it here. Nope, that didn't work. Oh, today's the day. Oh, the day that didn't work. I'm gonna cut it again. And guys, normally I would just flip that over. The reason that I didn't is because of the stitching. Yes. Oh, you know what, Sandra, now that you say that with the schmear, let me show you what I use, because I know I'll forget. You know when you get glasses or sunglasses, they give you a microfiber cloth? I've been using that, and it helps. So you can clean your acetate with that. But yeah, girl, every now and then you get to the end of your project, and then all of a sudden you touch that one part that you didn't intend to, and, you know, goof it all up. It happens to everybody. Just the other day, I started a mini album. I had to toss it. I was so mad at myself. I was like, no. After all these years, you would think I would know what not to do. No, it doesn't matter. Come on, baby. Thank you, son. I appreciate it. Okay. Too many tools, guys. Too many tools. All right, so Acorn Brown didn't work today. It has decided not to, so let's try a different color. And I wasn't about to try to line that up twice in the same place, so let me go with what I thought I was going to use. I'm going to use this color instead. I'm going to try to clean that off. Yeah, it didn't even stay on there. This is called Daydream. Let me just make sure this is straight, because this is my challenge with the itty bitty stamps, is trying to get them nice and straight. God help us. All right, so I'm just going to tap that really lightly, because this is Catherine Pooler ink in Daydream, and this stuff is super duper juicy. Un, deux, trois. Okay, that's better for me. It says thinking of you. And it's kind of flying off. But you know what? Maybe I need to do it askew. No, it'll work. It'll work. And okay, as you can see, that was a scrap piece of paper. It's going to work. I'm just going to put it right here. And I realize that's quite a big white canvas. I'm what do you call it? I'm not doing that haphazardly. I'll show you in a minute what I'll do there. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Yes, you're right. You know what else I'd like to do is I'd like to take this right here, 91% alcohol, and I clean everything, plates, all of it, and it'll clean it, because it's a solvent. You know, alcohol is a solvent. It takes almost all the alcohol off of, or I'm sorry, adhesive off of just about anything, without, you know, having to struggle. So now I am not done. In case you thought I was. I have these little droplets. These are from Nuvo by Tonic Studios. So if you didn't know, Tonic Studios does make little different shaped sequins and gems and things like that from their Nuvo line. And these happen to be like little water droplets. So how cute is that? So what I thought to do was to put a few of these here and there, because I think the recipient is going to like that. So it's going to look like there's water dripping out of that. Let me do it like that. Maybe like that. Super cute. I love that color blue also, and it's going to add that little bit of shine. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's happened to me, but you know what it was? It was I was forcing the plate too much. But let me tell you, I mean, I have this Empress and the magnetic plates have warped and broken and whatnot. Why is this crooked? I'm seeing it and I'm like, it looks more crooked the more I look at it. Okay, I think I got it now. The magnetic plates have warped and whatnot, but the actual acrylic plates have not. I'm really impressed by that. And I don't know if it's just the fact that it doesn't handle the thicker dyes. I don't know if that's got something to do with it or not. But, okay, I'm crafting upside down here, guys, but I'll show you in a second. I think I want to do it like that. Okay. All right, so there's the little water droplets. I think it's so cute. I only use 3, but I think, yes, there is a little bit of an AA meeting going on here. Tonic Studios is repetitivo. Oh my gosh, interesting how I can say that in Spanish, but I can't say it in English. Repetitive, that's the word I was looking for. Theme in my crafting. Guys, if I sound crazy, it's not not intentional, I promise you. My words sometimes escape me. Okay, I was looking for the cap. Here it is. I was looking for the cap of my adhesive. All right, so now what I want to do is to add a tiny bit of shimmer, but nothing crazy. These drops here, they're one of my favorites. These are called Dream Drops, and they're iridescent. And again, I'm not going for a huge amount, but it has like this pearly, kind of greenish color. I don't know how to describe it. If I can get it out of the bottle, it'll help. I'm using a needle. Here we go. I hope. Please help. You know what? This would be the card where I would squeeze the bottle too hard and then get the drops everywhere. And I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to randomly put a little dot here and there. This, by the way, if you ever get a stamp and the stamp itself for some reason smudges or something like that, you get one off line, you know what I mean? Where maybe you squeezed it too hard and there's one little spot that's blotchy, or the line is too wide or whatever. Just put a Nuvo drop on top of it and no one will ever find out. I do that often and it saves me. Oh, wonderful. You like the Dream Drops? Oh, it's hard. Yeah, I just ordered the Nuvo mystery bag, and I'm hoping, oh my gosh, hoping that I get some Dream Drops in there. This is just so subtle, guys, but if you saw it in person, it's such a pretty color. And again, I'm just putting it here and there. Antennas, whatever. There's not a whole lot of color in this particular one, but this is called Enchanted Elixir, for those of you who may need to know. And again, it's just a pearlescent kind of color. It gives a little tiny shine here and there, like tiny little pearls. And what I like about it is that because you can control the amount that you put on there, and of course in this case I couldn't squeeze it hard enough anyway, but then you can put tiny little details like that on a card without struggling, you know? But how sweet is that? And to think that I started off with a white piece of paper, guys. I'm quite happy. And of course, it'll open like this. And what I'll do is, because I'm not going to... oh, this is bothering me, but whatever. I need to let it go. It's not completely straight, and it's... I'm going to cut another piece just like the same size as that yellow one, and I'll place it on the inside, and then that way when she opens it, it'll have a little place to land here. Okay, so in that case, for instance, I can use another little butterfly, which, see, I just touched the Nuvo drip, whatever. I can use another little butterfly over here, or a little flower, anything like that, and place it just like on one little corner, and that'll help it prop open also. Some people like to use the little pearls, all that good stuff. But I'm super happy with the results of that. I love the die shape. I think it's quite versatile. And if you're curious, what am I doing? This goes over here. This is my little needle. If you're curious as to the size, this is the largest die in that set. And this created a card that is 6 3/4 inches wide. And at the tallest, it is 4 3/4. So pretty good size, I think. Now the other ones, of course, this is graduated. The other ones go, you know, they're smaller, and then the smallest one is, let's see here, just under 3 inches. So I would say 2 7/8 by, what is this? Just under 2 inches is the little bitty one. So perfect for sentiments, embellishments, all that good stuff. And again, this, for those of you who got here a little bit later, that's the stamp set that I used today. And the sentiments say it's your, what's it say? It's your time to bloom. Sorry about that. And then sending you sunshine. But I decided to go with the thinking of you. And thank you so much. What I wanted to mention was the next video, God willing, next video that I do, I'm hoping, will be, here I go again, almost showing my address as I find myself doing. What's in here? It's gonna be coming from this. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. So I would have done this today, but I wasn't here this morning. But as soon as I get these cut out, I will come back and I will share the hot air balloon from Tonic Studios. I know a lot of you ladies picked this up as well, but I wanted to know if this is something you'd rather I do on a live video, or would you like me to do a pre-recorded silent video where my voice doesn't grate on your ears? Because there are, you know, varied opinions on this channel. Some people like the videos that are completely mute, and others like the laughter. So I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't care either way. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. But as I said, there is a delay on my chat, so I'm gonna take a poll. I keep finding my little diamonds all over the place here. But if you're not familiar with Tonic Studios, if this hasn't been in your part of the world yet, or you just are not into the 3D items, I highly enjoy 3D crafting. Okay. Oh, Rocky, it's still available, as far as I know. You like the live? Awesome. Okay. Then what I can do is, that I can, tonight and tomorrow morning, I can start cutting. And then tomorrow, let's see, what's tomorrow? Thursday? Yeah, I can shoot for tomorrow mid-morning. I can come back and do a live video. Yes, please vote. Come on. Let's have some interaction here, ladies. Here's the stamp set, by the way. This is called Up, Up, and Away. And it has the little triangular stamps that you can use to decorate the panels of the balloon. It's got banners that you can stamp. It's got the base. It's got little flags that say, let's go on an adventure, a special delivery. So that's perfect for babies. Or if you're, you know, delivering something to someone, say in a hospital or something like that, you just want to brighten their day. Can you imagine receiving a little balloon like that and then maybe some little tissues inside or anything like that? A pair of socks, whatever. We all have our thing that we love. Tonic Studios USA, you know what? That's a good question. Bear with me and I'll answer that. Okay. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just trying to find out. Let's see here. The US website. Yes. So I'm going to try, give me 1 second and I'll share the link. Okay. I'm almost there. And that way it'll take you directly there. Okay. And it's super duper cute. Okay, I'm copying the link and I'm going to put it in the chat. And then there's that. That'll take you right to this set here. And also, let's see here. Well, we have three for live video. Okay, 4. You're very welcome. And also, in that, on the same page, if I didn't take you to the set, just to let you know, they do have this as a set. But I will update this video, and tomorrow if I come back live, which God willing I will, then I will come back and share that link as well as the others. So let me save that before I forget. Okay, bear with me guys. There we go. I just want to make sure that I save the information because I know people will ask and I want to be able to make that available to you. So this has, let's see here. I know that to create it, you need, I think it's 6 of each, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I meant to mention here. Sorry, guys. Got sidetracked there with the whole link situation. But let me open this so I can show you. Because the ladies at Tonic, just to let you know, they created not only the hot air balloon, that's what I was going to mention. They also created a different bottle with it. So let me show you that. That's what I wanted to mention. So if you're not into the hot air balloon, you can use it as a little bottle. Also, it almost looks like an incense bottle, I would compare it to. So I thought that was really kind of cool that you can flip it over and then use it differently. So say you have a masculine gift or just a gift for someone that you want to include among other things or whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's really pretty used in that sense also. And I think, let me see here. Yes, it came with instructions. So you do need 6 panels of each. But we can go over that tomorrow. But I will get cutting, come back, have it all prepped, and then that way, you know, if we run into any little glitches or anything like that, we can do it together. Or you can always save the video. I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun to do it in a group setting also with the chat and all that good stuff. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's quite a few things. I was even thinking Tiffany lamp with that top. If you have other sets, you know how you can combine them all. I want to look in my stash to see, because of course the scale would be important, but if you know 3D crafting, then you know that you can kind of play around once you cut things out and all that good stuff. But yeah, lots of fun. And Yes, and the other thing, let me show you guys something real quick. All right, so if you're familiar with this project, I did this a few years ago for a different designer, and it has a similar style of panel. So this is the direction that I was thinking of when I saw that as well. So yeah, we can do that. I mean, there's so much you can do, really, you know? And I recently got some new flower dyes also, so I think that would be super pretty. Thank you. No, I don't have this. I actually sold this die set. So I no longer have it, but that's okay because I have, you know, I know how to create this without even having a die. What would be different would be this here. But looking at this, let me take a peek here. This does have, where is it? See, it has this piece here, but that's pointy. But in any case, I have other dies. So I can take a look around and see what can happen. What happened, Beverly? What's the matter? Why are you sad? I'm looking at the words here. Or the chat, I'm sorry. I don't see. Oh, I keep flinging it. That thing has had, so I'm surprised it's still in one piece. I've had to put it on my shelf, and it's top heavy, and it always goes kerplunk. But all right. Okay, so I think I've covered just about everything. I hope you're okay. I sold a tonic dye. That was, no, Beverly, that was not a tonic dye. That was for someone else that I used to collaborate with a couple of years ago, and I no longer do that collaboration. So I sold all of the dyes that had to do with that particular store. Don't ask me why, because I'm not going to answer. But that's okay. You know, there's room in this world for all different kinds of crafting, and I have found that which I enjoy. Yes, someone, yeah, just to be clear, it was not a branded dye. Oh, because I don't have the umbrella dye. That's okay, guys. You know what? The fact is that I was using that sort of thing. So, okay, a few years ago, I was selling some of the items that I create. Let me lower my voice again because I'm loud. I was selling some of the items that I create in retail. However, I'm no longer doing that. And quite honestly, I think the person, I don't know what happened, but I think the person that purchased the dye, I don't even know if she ever even used it or if she sold it again. But sometimes, you know, blessings come in disguise, right? So my hope is that whoever got it was able to enjoy it, you know. I made 2 of those umbrellas. It was a little bit bittersweet for me, and just to give a tiny little explanation, I was creating for a particular store, and my videos were being stolen. So I noticed all of a sudden my analytics were changing. However, it wasn't to my benefit because I was working for free. I was not being compensated for creating the videos, making pictures, etc., etc. The store was benefiting, the designer was benefiting, but I wasn't getting anything out of it because when you create for certain stores, and now everyone has their own opinion and you can do whatever you like, and I respect everyone's opinion, so to each his own. I, for instance, enjoy sharing this because I enjoy doing this on my own. I don't need to be on a design team for it or anything like that. Some of you know that I have been on other design teams, Some design teams, if you don't know, they do compensate you for your time. Others compensate you just with the product. And so in that case, it was just product. I got to keep the product. I didn't have to pay for it. Now, having said that, that for some people can be enough. The amount of work that I was putting into those videos and creating pictures and editing and all that was time consuming. I was enjoying it. However, like I said before, my videos were being stolen and I didn't appreciate that. So yeah, that's the short of it. That's as far as I'm going to get into that. So that's why I stopped doing that. And I figured from, you know, of course my videos are watermarked, but my videos are, my Tonic Studios, for instance, the, what do you call these? The tutorial ones, those are stolen too on a regular basis. And what they do is they crop the video and then all you see is my hands showing the product and whatnot, but you don't see my watermark and stuff like that. So whatever, it happens to everybody. I wasn't getting much joy out of that, so I stopped doing that. But if you see an ad and you see my hands on Facebook, don't be surprised. But I'll tell you now, it's not coming from me. It's from Chinese vendors that steal, you know, whatever. They have no scruples, and I'll say it out loud. I don't really care. It's bothersome, but it is, you know, that they do it to a lot of different companies. So I'm just one among the very many to whom that has happened. But I'm still enjoying crafting. And yeah, and I don't get paid. I don't get compensated in any way. I make a very tiny commission if you use my links, and that's it. And that does not cover the cost of any of my supplies. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, I don't want to end this on a bad note. I am excited to play with these, and I will be back. So I will get myself situated and all that good stuff. I would gladly do it tonight, but I have other plans. And God willing, I can come back tomorrow, and that way we can assemble this together. So I'm going to shoot for, God willing, between 10:30 or 11 in the morning, Eastern time. And then that way I can, you know, give myself time to finish the cutting and all that. Okay? But hopefully you guys have had fun today watching the makings of this adorable, beautiful card. I really enjoyed coloring it with you guys. So thank you so much for having been here. And feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you might have. Any prayer requests, of course, you know. And if those of you who know our friend Paper Besos she's on Instagram and YouTube, please consider sending a card her way, or you can even send it to me and I'll send it to her. She did lose her mother a couple of weeks ago, I think right around Mother's Day. So it would mean a lot to her, I'm sure, to receive some uplifting words from you guys. Sam, yes. I call her Samantha, but she goes by Sam. So yes. Please consider doing that. This is a beautiful community, so anytime you can share the things that you love and share kindness, I think it goes a long way. Okay, guys? But as I always say, I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. I do appreciate your company, and I thank you for having been here. Ciao, ciao. Now you know what comes next is my tilting. Ciao, ciao.